Roll credits. We opened this week with Nana cooking with her dad before getting a call from her mother, who, yeah, looking at the parents back to back, I think this dad really went above his weight class. Anyway, the mother would end up telling her daughter something that would set off all sorts of things in this episode. We would see the first of which the following day as Uta and Kokoro walked to school together, with the former suffering from the typical GPA problems of the pink lead. They saw Nana trying to balance on the traffic lights, which was frankly nothing too unusual, as even Kokoro pointed out, it's just something that we all kinda do when we're bored, so nothing too insane or... Okay, I'm just gonna go out on a hunch and assume that this episode was written by, yep. Is chaotic evilness just in Akiko's blood? Anyway, Uta asked Nana if she could help her with her studies for her makeup exams, which would also give the Cures an opportunity to try and figure out what was the deal with their blue friend. And yeah, as the title suggested, they figured this is like those 7 scary urban legends that many Japanese schools have, and that Nana would present them with 7 wonders just because her name was a homonym for 7 in Japanese. Thus, after seeing the first 2, they would almost immediately get the 3rd one when Nana arrived for their study session. Bitch, are you trying to steal my gimmick? No, and also, she decided to use her own name as a verbal tape because Pokemon is popular, right? I mean, I do see all those cards selling out everywhere. Then again, maybe she's also learning from the Dekomori school of self-defense. Nice fight, pretty. This whole episode is just going to be the equivalent of a shitpost on the Precure Reddit, isn't it? Realizing that she had become too OP, Nana decided to lose the pigtails, and the Precure were able to start their study session, starting with math. Okay, let's study, let's try, let's do it! Understand? Do you understand? I need more memes. With that, they were up to 4 wonders with Nana, which then brought up the question, why was she suddenly turning into the second kami of Reika, aside from the fact that they're both blue? Well, Kokoro had a theory. I don't know, Kokoro. Oshis do tend to lead to some undesirable results in this industry. Also, I need a gif of Kokoro here like yesterday. Anyway, as though things weren't already awkward enough, Hamori decided to join in, which led to... I need an adult. I am an adult. Alright, to be fair, it did lead to a really wholesome bit where Hamori ended up playing the role of, I guess, Jet Jaguar against Nanazilla. It was cute, and more importantly, it would end up acting as a good bit of foreshadowing for the climax of this episode, so it was actually really good storytelling amongst the acid trip that has been this episode so far. Anyway, the study session wrapped up with Nana deciding to head home first. This was exactly what her teammates wanted, as they decided to tailor her to see the remaining 2 mysteries that Nana would show them. And while imitating the average idol fan base, the 2 theorized what might come next, like her pulling a Bugs Bunny on a piano. This led to Kokoro kind of logically figuring that this might have been some very overt means of practicing playing the piano. I mean, it made about as much sense as everything else in this episode. I don't know! With that, they followed their teammate to a meet and greet with the mascot character that she talked about in the last episode. They were handing out balloons, but Nana wanted to give something special to the rodent. I'm done. I'm just done. I'm done. Meanwhile, at the Bar of Darkness, the villains of the show were slowly just becoming a bunch of simps. The only one who hadn't submitted was of course Shokine, and okay, I didn't really notice this up until now, but does this lady have a cutout on her left thigh? Yeah, she's definitely serving up a different kind of fan service than the Precure. Anyway, Zachary decided to head out. Meanwhile, Uta and Kokoro were trying to scope out the final Nana Wonder after she gave the mascot character a freaking diploma. Seriously, I'm not gonna get over that. However, Kokoro also just now remembered that people aren't supposed to discover all 7 secrets or else something horrible might happen to them.
夏すべての不思議を知ると怖いことが起こるって。
Yeah, you end up hanging out with a pervy boy in the girl's bathroom. Sure enough though, Nana was already doing something weird by drawing in the sand, which of course Kokoro figured was like some sort of magic circle, which yeah, considering how chuny Nana has been throughout this episode, it's not out of the realm of possibility. However, that would have to be put aside as Zachary struck using the mascot as the victim of the week. Also, I kind of love how they kept this thing silent because obviously there's no one inside what's clearly not a costume, and it's just a real giant squirrel, which actually wouldn't be too unusual in a show like this, so yeah, you get the idea, right? With that though, and with the Precure all in one area for once, it would be a good opportunity for a group transformation, or they could all just do their stock animations back to back to kill time. Yeah, not gonna lie, this and the fight this week were probably the worst parts of this episode. I mean, obviously, I have a bigger issue with them wasting time with them just not doing the group transformation that they're probably just gonna save for the debut of their group finisher in a couple weeks, but also, the animation in this fight was just bad and completely lacking in energy compared to the rest of this actually enjoyably insane episode. It just kind of kills the mood is all I'm saying. About the only entertaining part of this episode was how the balloon monster used its air to move around on this beach, and yeah, you could see it too, right? Well, anyway, after some sort of strategy meeting that led to a very basic combo attack, Nano of course delivered the finishing blow.
Oh, thank God.
And yeah, I guess they really did just forget about that ribbon from last week, as Purin just moved on to the next one, which resulted in her, oh god, I hope she's not flossing. Later, they finally cleared things up with Nana, who ironically was trying to do things away from the piano, as her mom had suggested that she pursue interests besides it. Thus, everything she did in this episode was her experimenting with different possible interests. Well, okay, that's actually a decent lesson of the day in encouraging viewers to try different things. Granted, I'm not sure if there's much practical value in half the stuff Nana did, but you do you, girl. I will admit, I liked her trying to emulate Uta through the rapping as well as, well... Yeah, for me, it's more this. And wholesomely enough, her so-called ritual circle was actually her drawing a very cute picture of her and her friends in the sand. With that though, the episode ended with the whole bit of misfortune befalling those who discover all 7 wonders, as Uta ended up failing her makeup exams.
Sucks to be you.
This was a trip of an episode that I did enjoy, but I'm not looking forward to the hangover tomorrow. I mean, to be fair, it wasn't anything truly nonsensical, and everything they did make sense for the most part by the end. Thus, I was entertained enough that my crappy fight rule applies, and I can overlook an otherwise subpar brawl this week. Honestly, I'm just surprised that Akiko Inoue even had time to write for this show, as she's also been very busy writing every episode of Gojuger the same season. Granted, her last episode wasn't so great, but I digress. Because this was thankfully relatively more restrained than the #1 Sentai. I mean, we still did get some bizarre moments like the rap and the freaking pigtails, but nothing too exaggerated. And if anything, I do appreciate the idea of making Nana a little quirkier, like a few other seemingly chill blues of the past, as it does at least prevent her from sinking into the more typical tropes of the character archetype. And while I personally do enjoy some good brain-rotting characters, I will admit for this show, it is probably for the best that they didn't go full Nokotan. Because as a result, we did get some really wholesome moments, like the Hamori scene, and of course the beach drawing at the end. The other character who really held up this episode was of course Kokoro and her overactive imagination. It also effectively highlighted her fangirly nature because, let's be honest, crazy theories are the basis of many fandoms. Uta, as a result, was a bit of a third wheel this week, but but she also did provide a few decent laughs as the butt monkey of a few punchlines. Thus, this was a decent enough character-driven episode that I was able to overlook the subpar fight, though I really do think that they should have just have used a group transformation sequence this week to save time. Still, overall, this is a very entertaining episode that effectively got a lot of characterization for Nana across. Granted, she probably should just stick to one characterization rather than 7, and if at all possible, it shouldn't be the try-hard cute girl act. Thank you for watching, and if you're wondering if we're going to cover Princess Orchestra, well, we are planning to do so, just kind of waiting on subs for now. Yeah, as of the time of this recording, nothing is up yet, but I can at least say I enjoyed the Raw I saw, so we will try to cover the series. So look forward to it. Until then, though, for now, my friends, and is someone drawing an alchemist circle in the sand? And that's my signal to leave.